Thank you for coming. We are welcome to NifnexTV. We've got a great panel of speakers here, all from the Writers Club, from Nifnex Writers Club. So NifnexTV is about helping small businesses and addressing the challenges that small businesses face. So what we've got is a really good case study, and it's a very interesting topic on the digital clutter, Facebook, LinkedIn advertising, Google AdWords, and all the stuff that everyone wants to know. What's the difference, you know? Do you ever wonder what the difference is? We'll get to know that very soon. So let me introduce Doug, Rajab, and Dale Carter. So Doug, would you like to introduce yourself quickly, and you can...
Yeah, sure. My name is Doug, and about 6 years ago I started an online marketing and web design company called Alika, based out in Subiaco. Been really blessed in terms of growth over the last 6 years. And I head up all the digital campaign stuff, so all the online marketing, social media, SEO, all that good stuff. And that's what I'll be talking about today.
And my name is Rajab Karume from Needle & Hay Digital. Basically what we do at Needle & Hay Digital is we look at the disruption that's taking place with the current technologies and make sense of it in terms of future-proofing businesses. So what that means is we look at the business model and work out whether that business model is suitable for this day and age and for the next 5-10 years, or it's a business model that you've copied from the industrial age thinking and you're trying to force it through. So basically we are challenge strategists in the digital space.
We started out back in 1996, before most people knew what the internet was, and we're an e-commerce website developer traditionally, and of course what we've done along with that is that we've built tools and features into our systems to help with the online marketing. So I suppose I work with micro and small businesses, and we work with them from setting up the website through to their SEO and their pay-per-click marketing.
Fabulous. So I think the three right panel here to discuss that platform and the question. But can we sort of start off with Rajab, just with the digital clutter and advertising that is, how important is it to get into digital advertising? And paper is still important, I'm sure. But
from our perspective, it's you need to understand your value proposition first before you get into the digital space. For me, the title digital is relatively ambiguous. Sometimes I don't know what it actually means. But from a business perspective, you need to be able to look at your value proposition and look at your clients who you're trying to propose to the value and see if you can marry that in a very frictionless way. Digital space, when I'm talking about that, I refer to marketing online, marketing SEOs, and the like. Once you've worked out your value proposition, then you work out the channels that are most conducive for your business and most conducive for your clients. It's not entirely about the technology, it's more about the connection between you and the people you're trying to communicate. At the end of the day, you're trying to have a communication and an engagement from that.
Perfect. Yeah, of course. So I guess once you find out if they are digital, then you go a bit deeper. Are they on Facebook, LinkedIn? So that brings you on board, Doug.
Yeah. Well, yeah, once you get obviously a digital online presence, you need to drive traffic to your online presence. So to the biggest areas is Facebook. Now, I'm a big fan of Facebook ads purely because of the innovation that Facebook does. I mean, in comparison, say if I were to compare Facebook and LinkedIn, Facebook has over 1 billion users, close to the population of Australia every month. LinkedIn about 200, 300 million. So there's quite a difference in terms of the number of people on both platforms. But my biggest thing is work out your target demographics, because if you're on Facebook, very good for B2C, so if you're a business to consumer. If you're a B2B business, definitely LinkedIn, because naturally if you're on LinkedIn, what are you there for? You're a professional, you're looking at career opportunities, you're looking to network, you're in that headspace. So obviously if you're going to run an ad, you want to be targeting people in that sort of headspace. Whereas Facebook, everyone's on Facebook, it's on your mobile, you know, you're looking at it after work, during work, weekends, so two totally different markets. Do you want me to just keep going?
Yeah, please, go for it.
The one thing I do like about Facebook is, like I mentioned before, the innovation. So how many of you guys log in using Facebook on a website? Yep. Well, they're going to take that information now, so you can now advertise to people and get more of a profile for people that have logged in on Facebook on another website. So now it's perfect for us marketers. Also, Facebook is a lot cheaper, I find, whereas LinkedIn, you're looking at, and I'll just throw it out, like in terms of terms, you guys can Google it, like cost per click. So every time if you pay for someone to click your ads, LinkedIn, you're looking at around about $2 onwards for a cost per click, and roughly a minimum daily budget of $10 a day, which is quite expensive. Whereas Facebook, you can still get cost per click. I can still get it down to about 10 cents a click. I mean, that's rare, but on average, you can get it down to about 30 cents upwards. And the other thing as well, before I pass it on, is with Facebook, the targeting on it is so much better than LinkedIn. That's what I find. So Facebook, everything you put on your profile, what you like, what you don't like, your marital status, everything. And you notice Facebook, it will tell you, have you finished your profile? It's a sneaky way of just getting you to tell them more information about yourself. You can target it. And there's so many more features, which if we've got time, I'll go through them a lot more. But Facebook, and that's the key, the targeting. You can target people that are in Perth, that live in a certain suburb, that are married, that like squash. Bingo. You can show them the ads. So, and LinkedIn, it's a bit different. You're more targeting people who have a certain title in their role at work, company size, so it's a little bit more, little different in terms of targeting. But they're the two differences.
Perfect. And that brings us on to Google Ads. Google being the biggest platform.
Yeah, so I used to hate Google Ads, and I just loved SEO because I thought SEO was the cheap way to go. But over the last 2-3 years, with Google changing the algorithms all the time, I have come to believe that Google Ads is an important part of micro and small and medium business marketing. I think the reality is that over the coming years that most people's marketing spend will be spent on Google AdWords for the foreseeable future. So my key points around that would be that any micro, small, medium business owner really needs to take control of their own Google AdWords. I don't think that they can abdicate responsibility to third-party professionals without getting really solidly involved with that. Because the thing I like about Google AdWords is that you're there for commercial intent. So in the old days, you only picked up the yellow pages if you had the intention of making an appointment, booking your car in for a service. When you go onto Google and you're looking for something, and you're looking for something to buy, there's commercial intent in there. Whereas with Facebook or LinkedIn, you're not specifically there for commercial intent. So that's why I think that's a critical aspect. Yes, it is more expensive, but it's only, when I say more expensive, you can actually still get a very good return on investment with that. So, so that'd be the first couple of things I would say.
Is it more targeted more to B2B, B2C? Is there a particular?
No, I believe that Google AdWords it goes across both B2B and B2C.
Yeah.
You know, you could be a pest control person, you could be solar panels, you could be a web development company, or an accountant and so forth. So they are B2B and B2C examples in that space.
Okay. So. Do you have anything to add there, Rajab?
What I could add is it's where we sit. It's about trying to work out the signal and keep the noise away. You know, there's a lot of noise in that space, in the sense that if you're a business and you're not concentrating on your value proposition, you're concentrating on how you broadcast yourself, I think you are missing the point. You're gonna get into the space which I refer as the noise space, where if I was to go online, I'd find 100 of you, and then I wouldn't be able to differentiate. I won't be able to see. So it make my work harder in trying to get the service and or product. However, if you were to look at it from the other perspective and spend more time in value proposition, then you sort of cut through the noise and have your signal out there. So it's not a panacea as far as we're concerned. It's about you being in business and looking at the business and then saying this is the technology that will facilitate as a vehicle, not the other way around, that I will just go in and broadcast and away I go. So I don't know.
I mean, I'm a strong believer that you don't always have to have advertising, any sort of advertising, any platform. If the right content that's being, so if you're writing yourself and you keep publishing the right content, you're sort of almost giving away knowledge to attract the people towards you and for your own business input and those sort of things. I use Facebook for personal branding, although I don't use LinkedIn as much for personal branding. But what are your thoughts on that? I know it's B2B, B2C, but B2B personal branding.
Yeah. I mean, I like both, me personally, because I think in the professional network, you can post great content, people will like it, people will respond and people will engage with it. Facebook, same thing. So I use both, because my LinkedIn network is very different to my Facebook network. But and I just wanted to make a point what Dale said, which is a very good point. If I forget, in terms of lead generation, definitely SEO, Google AdWords is your best form of lead generation, because like Dale said, if you type something in Google, you know what they're looking for. You just got to appear at the top to give them what they're looking for. Whereas Facebook, LinkedIn, there is a big focus on, like Sishan said, about the brand awareness. How's your business appearing online? If I were to respond to you and contact you on Facebook, will I get a reply in 24 hours? Or will you delete my comment to make it kind of look good, which I don't advocate, by the way, unless it's really offensive. So
we've got 5 hot tips from each panelist. So should we address the 5 hot tips and finish it?
Yeah, thanks for picking me first. Oh, just personal joke, man. My 5 hot tips, one question I put forth to Sishan to talk about is, if I were to start again and do an online business, or any sort of business and wanting an online presence, what would 5 tips be? 1, definitely get a website, obviously. 2, make sure it's responsive, so everyone's on their mobile devices viewing it, and I don't mean a dedicated mobile site, I mean a proper responsive site. So if you view your website on a tablet or a smartphone, it will collapse and look nicely on that. Thirdly, collect the email addresses of your visitors. Like, this is Internet Marketing 101. Like, if someone comes to your website, they have a look, they leave, you may never see them again. You put a opt-in form or subscription form. They come in, you get their email address, you can then remarket over and over and over again. Fourth thing, think about your traffic channels. Don't try to do every single social media channel, PPC, SEO, newsletter. Like, think about your target demographics and work out the best channels and do them well. I like to focus on Facebook, AdWords, LinkedIn, and just do them really, really well. Then once you get traction, you can move on to others. And probably the 5th thing I would do is work on your conversions. So when you look at your website, actually do split testing, put different headlines, different button colours, just split test the 2 to see when traffic comes to your website, how well does that traffic convert. You could change 1 word and it could mean a 30% increase in conversion, whereas you could spend 4 times the amount of money in Facebook and not get that same conversion, because you're just working and improving what you've got. So that's my 5 tips.
It's an e-commerce, so make sure that your add to cart button is above the fold, so it's on the screen when it first loads in. Make sure it stands out. Make sure that if you've got any free shipping going on your website, make sure that you make that very prominent. That's a big conversion point. When they get to the checkout, make sure that you state that it is a secure checkout and you give them some confidence in that space. That they've all been shown to increase conversion rates. And also, it's best to display the product without the menu on the side. So a big picture of the product, no distractions without the menu. That's also been shown to increase conversion. So that's my e-commerce tips for you.
Thank you. Rajab.
My 5 tips, if I can get to 5, will be on change. I like talking about this big picture change in the disruptive age. The first tip I would say is close your eyes and think of how the world works. Think of any business, any organization, government process. Think of how it works. Think how you know it works. Spend about a minute, and then open your eyes and realize the picture you have is not actually the reality. The picture you have is a mindset that you've been carrying for a long period of time. The disruption doesn't happen because there's a huge change. The disruption happens because someone realizes that there's a disconnect between the picture we have in our minds and how people actually live, work, play, and enjoy themselves. Twitter is a good example. WhatsApp is a very good example. I like using local examples, just because when you talk about Google, sometimes they look a bit too far-fetched. The example to use for WhatsApp is in Facebook. Facebook recently bought WhatsApp for about $19 billion Australian. That's after 10 years of being in business. One of my favorite Western Australian businesses is Wesfarmers. Now, Wesfarmers is celebrating their centenary, 100 years. A few years ago, they spent $19 billion, about equal amount of money, buying Coles supermarket. Now, you have a 100-year-old company that is a leading international company. After 100 years, they're able to spend, after around nearly close to 100 years, they're able to spend $19 billion. And here you've got a 10-year-old company that's able to spend $19 billion as well in acquiring a new business. So if you were to look at those two, after closing your eyes and realizing that the picture you have about how the world works in regards to consumers, in regards to business, in regards to social, entertainment, and even government interactions, is more of what I like referring to a takeover from the industrial age mindset. I'm a big fan of what happened in the industrial age. You had a significant improve in lifestyle in the Western part of the world. Now we have fantastic technology, scientific, life expectancy went through the roof. So that happened. And out of that came a way of doing business and a mindset. It proved itself. Now, where we're sitting, we see that mindset being pushed to the modern times, and there's a bit of a disconnect. So that's my one tip, a relatively long tip.
A philosophy lesson as well.
So
thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I think we've gone over time. So thank you, panel. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for coming.